Okay. Good morning. My name is Jessica. My pronouns are she and her. And this is a mindful Hatha Yoga class. So it's beginner friendly, accessible for most people. We've been in quarantine. I don't know when you'll watch this later. Obviously, if you're watching live right now, it's obvious. But during this time period, I've just taken time to reflect and listen and learn and try to find purpose in my offerings. And it's important to me that this is an inclusive space for everyone. So regardless of race, gender, religion, sexuality, age, physical ability. So I try to make this accessible to most people. If you have specific requests for private classes or specific needs met, feel free to reach out to me and I can address those. And if you watch live, you're always welcome to join in, chime in as we practice with feedback or requests. So we'll get started. So today, let's use, we'll have a blanket or a towel. And then if you've got blocks are great, but you don't have to have blocks. I've been using, because my kids hijacked my blocks, I've been using toilet paper rolls, but I finally found my matching blocks. So I have my blocks today, but toilet paper rolls work great. You could also use a paper towel roll. And then we can also make do if you don't have those props. It's really fine. So let's start seated. So whether that's seated on your blanket on the ground, or you could sit in a chair if that's more comfortable for your body. And then take a moment to close your eyes or take a soft gaze. We will begin by centering. Taking a moment to make space for whatever is present. So noticing the energy and the space around you, maybe sounds of your family. I have a suspicion that I might be interrupted by children. So just noticing the different sounds around you and allowing them to be part of this present moment. So know that you don't have to have a perfectly quiet space or a perfectly clean space to practice yoga. It may make it easier to get you into the space to practice, but the practice is just welcoming whatever it is that is present. Knowing that sometimes it is comfortable and sometimes it is uncomfortable. And then notice the feeling of the ground beneath your body. And then just allow yourself to be supported here. So feeling this connection to the earth. Maybe take a moment to visualize yourself seated here. Seated here in the space that you're in. And then gradually expanding that awareness outwards, and maybe visualizing your space if you're in a particular room in your house. And then expanding beyond that into the bigger containers, maybe your entire house. And then beyond that into maybe visualizing your city, your state, acknowledging your small space on the earth. And you can bring your awareness right back into this immediate space, the space within your body. So noticing how your breath moves. Maybe noticing your heartbeat. And begin to find some space with your breath. So with your inhale, beginning to lengthen your spine, find some space through the sides of your rib cage. As you exhale, allow yourself to ground, connect to the earth. And then bring one hand to your heart center, one hand to your belly. So we'll open here with a single Om. And with your hands on your body, notice how the sound feels in your body. Know that every cell in your body vibrates as you chant. And then notice how it sounds and how it may resonate in the space around you. So we'll take a full breath together first, inhaling and exhaling. We'll inhale to Om. All right, release your hands. You can open your eyes if they're closed. Good morning. Welcome again for anyone who's joining. This is Mindful Hatha. So we'll move through some foundational yoga poses. We'll work with sound and pranayama, which is breath work. So yeah, if you're watching live, feel free to chime in if you have any requests or questions throughout. This will be available on Facebook later, and I'll upload to YouTube as well. So we're going to start with our props. So I'll give you two choices here. You can either use a blanket or you can use blocks or toilet paper rolls as you add. So I'll give you the example first with a blanket, so you could do the towel, just a big towel folded in half. So that's another option if you don't have a thinner blanket. And we're going to make a roll. So you'll take this, you want to have your low back connect to your blanket. And then you'll start to lie back over your blanket. Take your arms wide, and then you can rest here. You can make a little roll with your blanket underneath your neck. You can keep your knees bent, legs straight. It may feel nice to start out here with your feet together, knees wide. You may want to have props underneath your legs if you choose this option. And then the variation, if you know that that's where you want to stay, please stay there. But the variation with the blocks will look like this. Imagine also that I'm using toilet paper rolls. That's another option. So first one is going to go right in between your shoulder blades. The second one will be for head support. All right. So you'll take your arms wide here. So you can adjust the height of these blocks. So this block again is like mid shoulder blade. You want to feel grounded in your hips here, and then arms can open wide. If it feels too intense, I often see students put it like mid back. You don't want it in the middle of the back, that will be uncomfortable. And then if it's like right next to your neck, you kind of get, it kind of adds to the tension in the neck and shoulders. So find that space where you can release above and below. And then you can maybe adjust this block under your head so it can be taller if you'd like. It can be lower. You can get rid of it. Same option with your legs. You can take your legs straight. You can open them. Knees open to the side. You can keep knees bent, soles of feet on the ground. So starting this practice here with a nice heart opener, a supported heart opener. And I'm on the blocks now, but I think the blanket actually felt better to me today. I love this pose with the blocks, but I have these hard cork blocks that aren't always as gentle as I'd like them to feel. I don't know that that's the right word, but as giving. It's not my kids, it's my cats that need me. So allow your breath to expand here through the front of your rib cage. Let it expand all the way up to the top of your lungs. So that's like the top of your up to your collarbone. Let's take one more big breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And then if you've got your knees separated, you can bring them together and then roll to either side. And then you'll slide your props out of the way, so blanket or blocks or toilet paper rolls if that's what you're using. And then we'll come back onto your back and just take a few minutes here. Notice how it feels to not be supported with the blocks. All right, you can make yourself up now. So we'll start today with some pranayama. So pranayama is breath work. Prana means life force energy or essence. It's similar to chi that you hear in referenced in Eastern medicine. So it's just the energy that keeps us going and thriving. And then yama means to extend. So pranayama is breath work that helps extend that prana. So one of my teachers told me that the ancient yogi sages believed that we're all born given a certain number of breaths, and the longer that you can make your breaths, the longer your life will be. So just an interesting tidbit. Now I will say some variations of pranayama do include quick breaths, but today we're going to work on a slow balancing breath. I'm noticing my mat is uneven. I don't know if that shows up in the camera, but OCD is coming out. So what the breath that we'll practice is called Nadi Shodhana. It's an alternate nostril breath. So it's balancing of energy in the bodies, the energy channels. So you have three main channels. There's the, I don't remember the names of all of them. Sushumna, I think, is the central channel. And then you have the nadi. No, the nadis are each of the channels, the Ida and the Pingala. I think those are the three names. I may be saying them wrong. So the central channel is where you have like the chakras are lined up. So the energy sensors all the way up the body. And then the other two channels crisscross back and forth. And so where the three meet is where each of our chakras are. So this breath, you're actually moving energy up one side and then back down the other, and then up that side and then back down. So you're kind of moving side to side. So we often do this breath using a mudra with our hands. If for some reason that gets uncomfortable at any point, you can just visualize that breath, and then it's going to move in and out of your either nostril. So you can valve with your hands to close to make one nostril dominant. But even with that visualization, with practice, you start to sort of dominate the flow. So let's just start first by noticing, you'll just do a test here, just taking, it doesn't matter which side we start with, just taking a few rounds of breath through either side, noticing which side feels a little more open. Maybe they're balanced to begin, but just noticing. And then you can try the other side. And then just notice. Acknowledge which side may have seemed more open. For me, it was my left side. So left side is linked more to parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. So if you can't sleep, you want the left side to be a little bit more open. If you need to be energized, you want the right side to be a little more open. And then if you're just looking for balance, you kind of want to find an even flow. But typically it shifts throughout the day. So there's no right or wrong here. It doesn't have to be perfectly balanced, but this breath kind of helps tune in and balance both sides. You may have noticed that you need to blow your nose, so feel free to do that. I know molds are high here in Austin. So we'll start with a mudra if this is what you choose. So I'll use my right hand. Thumb will be on my right nostril. My ring finger and pinky finger will be on left. And as you valve, you're not like completely closing either side. You want to have just a gentle pressure there. And then the traditional mudra, you have your pointer finger, middle finger in the center of your palm. I really like the variation where I have the pointer, middle finger at the space between my brow. So this is like your third eye chakra. It feels soothing to me. So you can play around with that. And then some people just do like thumb and finger. So it's also traditional to hold. You can hold your elbow if you want support. And then sometimes your arm just gets tired, so you can release and visualize that energy. So it begins, I like to have a diagram for this, but I don't have anything to write on. You begin with an exhale through both noses, and then we'll inhale through the left side first. So you'll imagine the energy moving up through the left side of your body, and then you'll exhale through the right side. And then you'll close the left side now. Inhale through the right side, exhale through the left. So that is a full breath. Inhaling left, exhaling right, inhaling right, exhaling left. That's a full round. We'll do that 12 times. I know this is a lot of information all at once, but any of it that you don't remember, it's fine. Don't let this cause anxiety. If it does, come back to your normal breath. An easy way to count 12, you can count it in your mind, but I find that sometimes I get distracted. So having a mala helps. So you can use your hand as a mala. So each one of your little knuckles, you can count as 1 point. So these are like the mala beads. And what you can do is you find a spiral. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you're like spiraling around your hand as you count, and that's how it helps you. So I'm going to do that. you're welcome to join me in that, or just follow me. I'll tell you when it's time to get back to your normal breath. So let's do 3 big breaths first before we begin this. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. All right, so we'll get your mudra, whatever mudra you prefer to use, and then your mala with your hand if you choose to do that. So we'll take the full breath together first. So inhaling both nostrils, exhaling both, and then we'll inhale left. I got that wrong. We're going to inhale through both. You're going to exhale through your left first and then inhale left. So you begin with the exhale. So you exhale, then inhale, inhale. One round. And then again, you start exhale, inhale, inhale. I'm sorry, I said that wrong originally. So we'll take an inhale first. Exhale through your left nostril. So you valve the right. Inhale left. Close the left side. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close the right. Exhale left. You're beginning the second round. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Third round I'll walk you through, then we'll do it on our own. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale, begin the fourth round on your own. You'll finish inhaling on the right side. And then we'll exhale through both nostrils. Take a few rounds just of a normal breath. All right, let's go to hands and knees now. So we'll get to moving. So just notice, so that's a great breath to do every day. I did that every day for a long time, just to bring balance into your life. And this may be a time that you're seeking balance, or some sort of ritual. And again, you can do it with your hand as a valve, or you can do it without. So let's start by taking your hands wide. So as wide as your mat. I have my blanket under my knees, that's optional. Soften your elbows, and then we'll start to move through some cat-cow. So inhale here, forward, lift your chin, lift your tailbone, exhale, drop. Crown of head, drop tailbone. Inhale, heart forward. And then as you move through cat-cow here, maybe find some organic movement. So maybe swaying your head side to side, maybe shaking your hips. Just finding what feels comfortable for your body here. Let's tuck your toes under as you exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then just take some time to walk it out. Shake your head yes and no. And you can come out of this sooner if you'd like. So for down dog, you want to have your feet, typically they're hips distance apart. You can have your knees bent as much as you need, especially with tight hamstrings. And then if you find yourself with like a lot of weight over your hands, I want you to bend your knees even more and then start to press your hips back. Imagine that my hand is right here pressing in between your shoulder blades, pressing back. So your head's between your hands or your arms here. So with a lot of beginners or people with tight shoulders, I'll notice like this. And I just want you to bend those knees. You can bend your elbows even and then start to find space. Maybe take your arms a little wider if you need to. Let's take a big breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And then we'll inhale, knees down to your mat. Big toes touch, exhale, hips back to your heels. Pause here in child's pose. All right, so in child's pose, we'll use blocks or your toilet paper rolls if you've got them. You can also skip using the props. Sometimes it serves you and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to bring my elbows to my blocks. Palms come to touch overhead. Finding an opening underneath my arms, through my back. Sometimes it works just to have your elbows on the ground. So there's that option as well. You may try to get your whole palm to touch, or it may just be fingertips here. You can decide. And then you can slowly start to release your arms, remove your props here. Make your way back up to hands and knees. And then just pause, connect to the earth through your palms. Again, I like having my arms a little wider, so pinkies at the edges of my mat. You can adjust that if you want. You don't want them too close together. You want them shoulder width at least, but I find some more space in my shoulders with my arms wider. And then root through the heels of your hands, but also through the edges, through the pads of your fingertips. Tuck your toes under, take an inhale here. As you exhale, leave with your hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. So remember, if you're stuck here, bend your knees, shift your hips back, let your head come in between your arms, and maybe you stay here with your knees bent like this, or maybe you can start to straighten. It's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong with the shape of your legs here. Shake your head yes and no. You're going to inhale your gaze forward between your hands. As you exhale, start to walk your feet forward. So you're going to find a standing forward fold. Maybe walk your hands back. I'm ending up on my blanket, but you don't have to. And then just pause for a few breaths. Forward folds have just not been that comfortable to me lately. So sometimes they feel lovely. So just notice that. For me, it feels nice to kind of walk it out and have this prop under my hands. So it's not comfortable, but it probably means that I need it.
That's usually the case. The poses that we avoid the most are the ones that we need the most. So let's take an inhale, lift up halfway, long flat spine. Exhale as you fold again. I'm going to press my fingertips into the ground here. So if you need to have some support under your fingertips, feel free to bring the ground a little closer to your hands. So I don't want your palms flat. I want you to actually press into the fingertips. We've got some acupressure points here under your fingertips. You'll take an inhale as you root down. On your exhale, you'll slowly start to rise. Soften your knees as you rise, and then feel your low belly start to hug in as you rise. So exhaling up, arms stay down till you reach the top. And then you'll inhale, arms up to the top. Reach your thumbs back behind you. Exhale, hands to your heart center. And then just pause for a few breaths. Let your thumb rest against your sternum. Know that you are supported by the earth here, so feel that connection to the earth through the soles of your feet. All right. You can open your eyes now. I'm going to scoot my props out of the way. So you'll stand at one side of your mat, so standing at the back of your mat here. And we'll start with your hands on your hips. Let's take an inhale. You'll lengthen out through the crown of your head. As you exhale, let's just find a little squat. So bending your knees, keeping your torso long, so lined up over your hips. We'll inhale back up. Exhale as you squat again. Inhale back up. We'll exhale, come into that squat again. This time we're going to inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale as you lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. This time we're going to exhale. You're going to sweep your hands up as you squat. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. We'll inhale, lift, palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart center. You'll inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, sit back, maybe sit a little deeper. You can start to bring your heart a little bit more forward so it doesn't have to stay right over your hips. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. We'll inhale, back up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart center. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink your hips back, shine your heart forward. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart center. 1 more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sink back really low. We're going to inhale, lift your heels. Pause here for an extra breath. Press back through the base of your skull. If you need to bend your elbows or take hands to your hips, you can. Exhale, lower your heels. Inhale, palms up to touch. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Nice. Make sure I have space here. We're going to inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. As you exhale, find that forward fold again. Inhale, lift up halfway, long, flat spine. Exhale as you fold. This time we're going to connect fingertips to the ground, just like we did earlier. You can also use your props if you need to. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale, as you lift your heels, pause, connect to the earth. Find your balance. So notice where your weight is distributed. See if you can get that even between the balls of your feet, between your fingertips. And then we're going to slowly start to bring your palms to touch as you keep your heels lifted. Maybe you wobble up, maybe you fall out. Pause here in a half forward fold. So notice if you still are kind of leaning forward, find that long flat spine. Pause here. No. Please don't come on the camera. You need close. What? Okay. We're going to inhale. Sweep your arms up. Okay, hold on. Exhale, lower your heels, lower hands to your heart center. Can you guys hold hands?
No, it's not important.
Okay, what's up?
I said you were teaching yoga, and I was like,
You're right. Yeah. Okay, go.
okay, I'll shut the door.
Thank you. That was my son.
He did not have clothes on, so I couldn't let him come on the camera today. All right, let's inhale. Sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale. Find that forward fold again. Inhale, lift up halfway. So long, flat spine. As you exhale, you're going to plant your fingertips again. We'll inhale, lift your heels. So you'll notice my knees are bent as I do that. So my knees bent. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. You'll pause here. Engage your core. So feel your low belly that we worked with earlier. Feel it really hugging in here. And then you'll start to lift your hands up to your heart center. We'll pause here with your heels lifted. Find that long, flat spine. And then we'll inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Try to keep your heels lifted. That's hard work. Exhale, lower your heels. Lower your hands to your heart. And then pause. All right, let's take your hands to your hips now. So we'll step forward with your right foot. Left toes start to turn out. So we're going to come into a warrior stance. So feet are firmly rooted here. You want to press through the balls of each foot. You want to get it even. We're going to inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. As you exhale, bend your elbows. And then we'll inhale, you're going to straighten your front leg. Reach through the ball of your foot. Fingertips reach for the ceiling. Exhale, bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, we're going to take a full breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, back up. Exhale, this time we come down, we'll do 2 full breaths. You'll inhale, back up. Exhale, this time we'll do 3 full breaths. So just notice you have a tendency to roll your tailbone back or forward. Just find some length, root through both feet. So 3 full breaths here. And one more time, inhale, back up. Exhale, 4 full breaths. Weight is even between both feet. Your tailbone is just slightly drawing down. And then find that length from the back leg all the way up through the front of your body. Let's bring your hands to touch now. You're going to make a mudra here with your pointer fingers pointing toward the ceiling. We're going to inhale your arms forward. You're going to start to turn toward your right. Keep your feet rooted though, so it may just be a few inches. You might be able to go a little bit more. And we'll inhale, come back through center, really focusing your energy toward the points of your finger. Then let's turn to the left and just notice how that feels, but keep your foundation of your feet connecting to the earth the same. Inhale back through center. Take an exhale here, then we're going to inhale, turn your gaze up as you lift your arms up. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands down to your mat. We're going to start to lift your back heel up so you're in a low lunge here. And then we'll inhale your right leg back to meet your left. So we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take an inhale through your nose, big exhale through your mouth. Inhale your gaze forward between your hands. As you exhale, start to walk your feet forward. Find that standing forward fold. So fingertips are pressing into the ground again. Let's inhale, heels up off the ground. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, lift. Knees soft as you lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift one more time. We'll pause here. Start to engage your core. Find that balance and you'll lift your hands up very slowly. Hands come to your heart center.
We'll pause here. And then we'll inhale, start to lift. You can sweep your hands up. That makes it a little more challenging. Heels stay lifted. Exhale, lower your heels. And then just notice what's present in your body. Let's come back toward the back of your mat again. My knee has been achy lately. All right, so we'll start with hands on your hips again. Feet are about hips distance here. We'll inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. As you exhale, you'll start to sink back, Utkatasana. You can always bend your elbows if this feels better on your shoulders. We'll inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart center. We'll do that a few times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit back. Bending your elbows or not. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale. Inhale, back up. Exhale. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale as you sink back. Inhale, lift your heels. Pause here. Find your balance. We'll inhale all the way up. Try to keep your heels lifted this time. Exhale, hands to your heart center. All right. We'll bring hands back to your hips now. This time you'll take your left foot forward. Right toes turn out about 45 degrees. I didn't specify this on the other side, but I should have. You want to have space between your heels. So traditional alignment for warrior stances is heel to heel. I like having a little bit more space so you can it helps your hips align more naturally toward the front of your mat. They may not be perfectly aligned, but you want to have them mostly facing that front side of your mat. We'll inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend your elbows. And we'll inhale as you straighten through the front leg. Exhale, bend. Really root through the ball of your foot. Inhale. Exhale. We'll take a full breath here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, back up. Exhale, this time we'll do 2 full breaths. Inhale, back up. We'll do 3 full breaths this time. Again, try to get your weight even between both feet. Draw your tailbone slightly down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, 4 full breaths. And you'll bring your hands together, find that mudra. If you can do it, it feels okay. It may not feel okay, but I'm going to do opposite pinky on bottom so it feels a little awkward. And then we're going to inhale, arms straight toward the front of your mat. As you exhale, you're going to turn toward your left. So a little bit of a twist here. Keep your foundation steady. Then we'll inhale. Take your arms over to the right. Inhale back through center. Take an exhale here. Then we're going to inhale, arms up. So leaning back a little bit with your gaze up. One more inhale here. As you exhale, you'll bring your hands down around your front leg. If you need props here under your hands, you can. You can lift your back heel up. You can inhale here. As you exhale, we'll step back. Meet in downward facing dog. Let's inhale your knees down to your mat. Big toes touch. As you exhale, let's meet back in child's pose. All right. Let's make your way up to kneeling. We'll go just a little past 11:30 today, but we'll keep it an hour. So come back to kneeling. Hands can rest on your thighs. You can come back to your heart center. You can also come to any other seated position that feels comfortable on your body. Just take a moment noticing how that work feels in your body. Know that you are safe and supported here. You're going to drop your hips down to the left. So your knees are on your right side. We're going to inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, we're going to twist toward the left side. And then as we inhale, you're just going to use your left hand on the ground to help press up. We're going to come back through center. As you exhale, you're going to drop your hips down to the right. You can bring your hands back down, then we'll inhale, sweep up. As you exhale, you'll twist to the right. Now let's inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, hands to your heart. Take a big breath, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. All right, as you're ready, you can make your way into Shavasana. So that moved quickly. I started a little late and then I worked on the pranayama. So you can use any kind of props that you'd like to make yourself comfortable here. If you want to use a blanket under your head or under your legs, you can. Just find a space where you can be supported and release any control that you have over your breath and over your body.
Excuse me. All right. If you are comfortable here and would like to stay longer, please feel free to stay in a supportive position for as long as you need to. If you are ready to start moving, feel free to explore your body and your breath now. Just acknowledging wherever it is that you are, acknowledging that you are supported by the earth, and that in this moment you are safe. If you are ready, you can slowly start to make your way to a seated position. And then take a moment, just noticing what is present, how things may have shifted, how things may feel the same. Know that whatever your experience is valid. Bring your hands to your heart center, bow your head down to your heart. And I honor all of your lightness and all of your darkness. And I'm grateful to share this space with you virtually and to share your energy. And thank you for practicing. Thanks everybody for practicing. Again, my name is Jessica with Violet Crown Yoga. I'm in Austin, Texas. And if you enjoy this, if you have the means to donate, I would love a donation. It's Jessica Ruthie on Venmo, Ruthie, or Jessica K. Stevens with a PH for PayPal, or you can just send me a message if you need access to those, or you can go to my website, violetcrownyoga.com, where I've got a whole library of videos, and there are some donate buttons there. And otherwise, just spread the word, share with people you know who need yoga. Thank you.